Okay, it is currently 9:35 p.m. This is video capturing what is demonic. This is demonic, and the demonic is recognized, identified through the impossible light activity. I have multiple shadows appearing here on the wall. Okay, I've got one hand in front of a window, and the only form that your natural eyes recognizing are what are the ordinary street lamps that are aiming light to light the ground, which creates shadows on the ground. It will be one shadow as opposed to the shadows that you saw surrounding my person, while demons that are from CAL FIRE, the state of California, came to personally engage in a repeated sexually violent criminal act, which it is again doing with knowledge, having Joe Tyler, a government actor, a corrupt leader, a demon-possessed psychopath that is engaged in what is this criminal system while holding maliciously a position of leadership in the state, and is engaged in the state's pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring. That's Joe Tyler, and that's why those that are under the leadership of that demon, Joe Tyler, are present in the demonic environment where I'm capturing what is impossible light activity, and they were pacing all around using vehicles, which is called crossing path light activity creation. Those were also hostile demons that you saw marching in engineered light with multiple shadows, while you saw the demons using their vehicles as a means of surrounding. I also showed you the snippets of what is impossible light activity. It's as demonic as that demon driving by in a black vehicle. That's what demons are doing with the logo CAL FIRE on them. They're group stalking. And that's the government acting directly as opposed to the government acting vicariously. The demons who you already know are engaged in surveillance. That's exactly what the red Civic was doing, driving in this parking lot first. Seconds after I began capturing images of what is a remarkable environment. No accident, no ignorance is present with regard to the maintenance of an environment where criminal surveillance and federal stalking surveillance on the internet, which demons are engaging in. You just saw a bunch of demons, all of them that are affiliated with CAL FIRE. Okay, the entity is engaging in what is the maintenance of impossible light. That's my shadow appearing again at the back of the hotel of this my hotel room, and I've got multiple shadows. Pay attention. Let me zoom in. You can see my one arm, two shadows. This is at the back, and by the way, there's only one. Not only is there one window, that light over here is not the explanation for what is this multiple panels. The windows appearing on more than one side of the wall. What you're hearing in the background, the revving of an engine, that's a demon, and that's called audible activity. CAL FIRE is engaged in state surveillance as I speak, as I show you this light activity that's inside. This shadow that's also on the opposite side here. Let me zoom in so you're clearer. This is my shadow that's appearing on the wall. So that's my shadow appearing on both sides. This is the one window that we have here. One window. And I'm being surrounded on both sides inside of the hotel room. And the elements of monitoring are while demons are monitoring you. That's the elements of monitoring, the revving of an engine, which again, you're not going to hear that from out there. That's a demon, that's group stalking. That's exactly what CAL FIRE was doing. The only difference between that cockroach that's demon possessed and these cockroaches that are demon possessed is they represent the state directly. That represents the state vicariously. This is group stalking inside of the Holiday Inn. Okay, and this is the prosecution of the state of California. And Joe Tyler is of the identical condition. This is a closeted sex offender. This is a closeted psychopath. A very severe mental illness is what is wrong with Joe Tyler, while he is a strategically placed demon-possessed criminal over CAL FIRE. That's, again, as I state, headquartered, if you will, in Fresno, California. And aware, I don't have to know this male in order to let you know about what his condition is and the criminal system that's underway by CAL FIRE, who literally are here engaging in the demonic. It's not just criminal, it's demonic. This is another shadow appearing again. This is impossible light activity, that which is irreconcilable. It has nothing to do with that light out here in the parking lot or any of these lights. Okay, what I'm showing you is, first of all, Satan is present. Satan is a spirit. Satan uses people. Satan is using every single person employed, affiliated, associated with CAL FIRE. These are demons that call themselves putting out fires under the fake sun. And these are fires that are not even necessarily naturally set. The people of the state are demons fully engaged and capable of setting these fires, including the state themselves, and then summoning themselves, or the entity summoning it to put the fires out. The entity is manufacturing emergencies. The entity is collecting money from the federal government to engage in this same exact pattern of conduct, by the way. These same corrupt actors that are engaged in a secret surveillance system are the same ones manufacturing emergencies every year, while demons just like that are setting fires and calling them, and they're collecting money, calling it an emergency every single year. They collect millions and millions of dollars when they are going through, the people of the state, these insurance companies,
collecting money when their houses burn down, when there's a need to move them, relocate them, to replace whatever it is that was lost. Those fires are the work of Satan. It's not even occurring in the natural environment. The fake sun is where they're claiming these fires are being set. And clearly in California, that's engaged in a matter of massive public corruption. Those demons, including Joe Tyler, who is being documented while I'm capturing the pattern of conduct. This demon that just came and did a donut in the parking lot, that's exactly what you saw the red Civic doing at 4 o'clock in the morning. Recognize the pattern. These are demons who are pacing, group stalking. And the sound of that motorcycle is called audible activity in this lit environment. CAL FIRE is group stalking by staying at a hotel to engage in personally communicating a threat. You saw them pacing all around, molesting with engineered light, and pacing back and forth. That was Satan that was communicating a message of hostility, because they're hostile to what I exposed about them, and I'm prosecuting them on top of that. Under all circumstances, they're group stalking. They're engaged in state surveillance. They're going to be prosecuted for that. But I want to let you know what's wrong with Joe Tyler, what's wrong with every single demon, including the one whose name I know, Carlo Lopez. That's the name tag that he had on Carlos Lopez, not confused with the demon Carlo Lopez who's going to federal prison at Alvarado Gardens. Carlos Lopez is the name of the demon that was group stalking inside at the lobby downstairs at the Holiday Inn, and every other one that's engaged in what is demonic activity. These are demons, and they are currently affiliated with CAL FIRE, and they are not different from the demons who are group stalking that work for a Holiday Inn, that are housekeeping, cleaning toilets. There's no honor amongst any of them. They are demon possessed, and this demonic system that is criminal surveillance and federal stalking is fully exposed. And those demons came in this remarkable environment where also the sun is rising and setting at the same address, communicating a threat while they know exactly who it is that I specifically identified by name. And it's also relevant to the ways in which this entity, CAL FIRE in particular, is going to be subject to civil and criminal prosecution. The ordinary targeted individual is subject to an unlawful threat. A threat, by the way, that they suffer in silence, having no one to report it to. Being threatened with the threat of being kidnapped, abuse of the Welfare and Institutions Code, subject to a threat of criminal summoning while they are documenting. I am not going to stop. I'm going to document, period. I'm letting you know and vocalizing all the threats that you are faced with and reasonably faced with when exposing the government that's conspiring to murder and kidnap you. And that's exactly what this is in impossible light. What you'll see in the screenshots, all right, it's currently 9:43 a.m. This whole entity is engaged in a sex offense. So that's why, again, all the commercial actors, the gas station is going to be treated as a person under federal law, as a domestic terrorist, as engaged in state surveillance, engaging in what is corporate invasion of privacy, engagement in what is federal stalking, and engaged in posing an impermissible threat. They've been engaged systematically in group stalking with the state, group stalking with CAL FIRE, that's in relevant position, and posing an impermissible threat while they are in relevant position, group stalking with all the rest of the demons, while the ongoing sound of traffic, the ongoing sound of what is vibrations and earthquakes and isolated earthquakes, the sound of as though someone is running on top of the roof. This is all impossible audible activity in the impossible light activity. This is demonic conduct that CAL FIRE is directly engaged in. And they are group stalking while the entity is engaging in terrorism as a bunch of demons engaging in criminal surveillance and federal stalking online, keeping me under very close surveillance, every move that I make, coexisting with what is impossible light activity. Right? And then the entity is also amplifying. So you'll hear the sound of extraordinarily loud audible activity. It's called amplification. A demon inside of room 306, which is adjacent, they're monitoring while this impossible light activity. This is called criminal facilitation. Holiday Inn is not a legitimate company. All right, they're a domestic terrorist and a violent sex offender. Let me zoom this. This is what CAL FIRE was marching all around and in the light. And that demon, you'll see all the light activity that I captured. I even provided snippets of the impossible light activity that you will witness. Inexplicable light just appearing on the side of the truck while it crosses path. Light just manifesting out of nowhere on the sidewalk. It's not light that's coming from any of these lamps. Pay attention to the video that I captured. And in the same way, a demon driving these battalion vehicles, touching all over my thighs, my buttocks, my back, my neck, my face, in the same way that no stalker can touch me with their hands or anything attached to their person. No demon shall molest you with light activity because they're group stalking you, including CAL FIRE. And that's what I captured, and CAL FIRE is going to be prosecuted as a sex offender because that's exactly what was documented. That's exactly what they're doing. Your shadow does not create four objects all around you. That's called engineered light. That's what they're touching with, and this is engineered light because this is also equally impossible light activity. And this is where the state of California is group stalking. Okay, and CAL FIRE, a function of the state, documentation of the another function of the state, the California Department of Motor Vehicles, a heavily documented group stalker. Where the ED's keeping a fake son over the Rancho Cucamonga DMV, well, that's going to have to be juxtaposed with the crime scene here at a Holiday Inn in Hesperia, where the entity's rising and setting a fake son. At no point could the son ever be over the DMV in Rancho Cucamonga at 9:08 in the morning, because that's exactly what I documented over the top of my head, when it's over the top of my head at the entrance area of this venue, over the hallway window that's facing the 7-Eleven, over the top of my head, where it's setting in alignment to me at 6 p.m. At no point is it deviating to be over a DMV in Rancho Cucamonga, but it is, and it's also on video over the top of my head. That's showing you who are the demon possessed who are group stalking. In California, California Fire and Forestry Department is engaged in the pattern of conduct, and they're violent sex offenders, as they demonstrated before the world. And you will see through that impossible light activity another example in this video with regard to their demon possession and how Satan communicates a threat through its behavior while they are group stalking, with knowledge of the fact that they've been documented. This is called stalking in the path with light. Demons touch you with this light while they're group stalking you, and that's what this is on video. And CAL FIRE is even being prosecuted for this because the people are group stalking with the state. All right, I documented all the license plates. The demon that's group stalking in room 306, creating earthquakes while they pace back and forth from their microwave with simultaneity to the operation of my phone. In this engineered light equals demonic activity. That's terrorism that Holiday Inn is also going to compensate for. And Holiday Inn every employee is going to federal prison. Okay, for CAL FIRE, analyzing this, CAL FIRE to be back engaging in this pattern of conduct directly by staying at the hotel. This is, again, the audacity, the impunity, right? The impermissible threat, in other words, posed by the state, and it is the basis of federal prison. And also, where you are specifically naming a state actor such as Joe Tyler, this is a demon possessed and a corrupt government actor. Public corruption is happening on his watch. It is a statewide pattern of conduct that is not ignorantly underway under his leadership. This is a demon that needs to be plucked from that position immediately. He is an overpaid minion. Okay, he is a closeted psychopath. He is a threat while he remains in that position. That's why you have demons bearing logos affiliated with CAL FIRE group stalking at the hotel. That's why you have that. Okay, it is currently 9:47 p.m. where there is no explanation for this light activity to ever occur other than the ongoing pattern of conduct. And the whole population is group stalking with the state, while the entity is amplifying all manner of noise in the engineered light while they're group stalking, including the state of California, and that's P.O.C. And that's why you see the screenshots that I'm capturing when I'm showing you the map. Everybody's being documented while the entity amplifies noise inside of my room while they're monitoring. That's what demons do, monitor you, which is surveillance by the state of California. Okay, this light activity, you've seen it. It's another iteration of the same thing. You saw this inside of my bedroom at Alvarado Gardens, where the demons of the LAPD were group stalking every day and night in helicopter, and I had multiple shadows on my ceiling, flashing of light on my ceiling in my bedroom. Multiple iterations of impossible light activity throughout my apartment at all times of day. This is the P.O.C. in Hesperia, where the sun is now rising and setting. That's a prosecution of CAL FIRE, a function of the state government. This is what the entity is doing with real-time knowledge. Federal stalking underway while CAL FIRE returns. And you saw a bunch of demons marching in engineered light, molesting me with engineered light, and engaging in terrorism via directed light while I'm showing you their shadows bouncing from being in front of them to being behind them, growing in size, vacillating all around while they are then pacing all around. Those were demons that were communicating a threat, like you would analyze any stalker. But I want to let you know, with regard to the demonic activity, those demons were communicating a threat with regard to interpreting what the demons were doing with regarding CAL FIRE. Legally speaking, analyzing, you're going to analyze any stalker's conduct, any stalker's threats, impliedly and expressly. And that is a threat while you are engaging in what is not free conduct. They're not free to be present in the specific environment, nor is any third party. This entity is engaging in what is abusing constitutional rights, where you're ignorant of the fact that you're being placed under surveillance. So this is not a lawful business. You're not exercising any First Amendment rights. You're engaging in criminal surveillance on behalf of a government that has no probable cause or reasonable suspicion, no constitutional basis whatsoever. In the specific environment is where the state is group stalking directly. And by the way, CAL FIRE literally satisfies that requirement. It is literally the ongoing admission against the people of the state. They're literally engaging in the demonic pattern of conduct. The people of the state are going to federal prison. Okay, it's as simple as that. I want to make sure that I'm capturing this light activity inside of my hotel room, and I want you to remember the face of Joe Tyler. This is a demon. This is a criminal who does not want you he doesn't want you to know about his secret. He serves Satan. He is in service of Satan in the position over CAL FIRE. And he is also engaged in the state's criminal system of federal group stalking and monitoring. That's how you have demons in Hesperia showing up, engaging in what is supernatural conduct, irreconcilable with the natural behavior, not ignorantly underway, with specific knowledge of the fact that they were documented, coming to communicate a more of a threat, and you will be prosecuted for that. You will be prosecuted for that. It is, again, 9:50 p.m. This is P.O.C.